Hello, it's Red again. How are you today? I'm good, thanks for asking. Today I'm going to be reading some r/Tales from the Front Desk. Are you ready? I know the owner, so you will do as I say. The owner of my hotel was a millionaire several times over, but you would never know it. His wife dressed like she was going to dinner with the president, and he looked like a slightly worse for wear guest. Little old dude walked around in khakis and Hawaiian shirts, ratty shoes, but an absolute shark, and would wait to let you have it if he didn't like you. He typically spent all of his time in his windowless office in the basement making phone calls and who knows what else. This was over 20 years ago, and the town we lived in was around 50,000 people. We rarely had a security guard on staff and no cameras, so he would occasionally chill out in the lobby to keep an eye on things if he was concerned about something. As long as you did your job, this wasn't an issue. He didn't often chat with us unless it was in the back office because he wanted to be taken for a regular travel-weary guest. I personally think it was a game for him. If he was just hanging out in the lobby, he would just sit and people watch or read the paper. However, there were times when people would become belligerent with the front desk staff for whatever reason, and they would always start with, "I know the owner, you'd better do as I say," and then go in on the fact that they are going to get you fired, etc. The owner would look up from his paper and say, "I have no idea who the hell you think you are, but stop bugging my staff. You aren't getting an upgrade. You're lucky I even let you stay after that." After the guest was properly chastised and left for their room, he would give you a lopsided grin and go back to reading the paper. Girl wants to dispute charges she authorized because she doesn't want to pay. We had one big wedding this past weekend and a music festival, so we had a full house. I checked this woman in smoothly and with no problems. She signs the paperwork and inserts her chip in the card reader to authorize for her stay, plus the $50 per night incidental hold. She doesn't fight about incidentals like most people do. I send her on her way and she takes her stuff upstairs. About 20 minutes later, I see her come down again to get more stuff from her car. As she passes the front desk, she stops. "Just to let you know, I'm going to be disputing the charges for my room. It's just me and my fiancé in a suite, and we don't need all this room. Also, $400 for a stay is absolutely ridiculous. This was the only room left when I made the reservation, and this is unacceptable. I don't want to pay for it." I am shook. She said nothing about this at check-in, and there was nothing in her notes except early check-in wedding guest. Nothing about wanting a smaller room. Well, I'm sorry, those are the rates for weddings, which are lower than our regular rates on a weekend. We had 2 more rooms left for the whole weekend, both standard, but since it was a full house and she went into her room already, I wasn't going to move her as I'd have to mark that room dirty. Plus, if stuff actually goes wrong with another person's room, there should be one available for that. She was also a total bumhole about it. You inserted your card and authorized the charges. You cannot dispute it. "Well, I'm gonna call anyway." The reason we have guests insert their card and we don't just process them is so they can't dispute the charges and get the money back. I told my manager this and that's what he said. She knew the rates checking in and said nothing. She made the reservation herself. Luckily, he didn't give her a discount. Okay, our next story is Received a Prank Call. A little while ago, I got a call from an outside number. "Thank you for calling the hotel. This is Eric." A kid's voice on the other end. "I need help. I'm getting my butt beat in my room." "Oh no, what's your room number?" 69. Normally with prank calls, I'm very dismissive, but I wasn't trying to be rude to a kid trying to have fun, so I said, "Oh no, that sounds very serious. Let me transfer you to the police." I type the 3-digit code on the phone that goes to our reservation line, and I hear the kid shouting from the other end, "No, no, no, it's a joke, sir, please!" before he hung up. I love how kids think that they're smarter than adults, and adults won't see through what they're doing. Alright, now our final story of the day. So this just happened. A guest comes in asking, "I would like to check in me, my wife and daughter." "I will gladly help you out. I require a piece of photo ID and a credit card." Guest provides an old Canada ID that looks like him but is easy to fake, and a paper license, the one that you get at renewal until your actual ID comes in. First red flag. I think that as long as his PIN goes through on his credit card, I won't worry about it. I hand back the ID, then I start to make the reservation and look at the credit card to make sure the name is the same. Ironically enough, the guest inverted 2 letters on the last name. Second red flag. For example, if the name was Santa Claus on his ID, it was Santa Claus on his credit card. The adjacent vowels were inverted. Again, I know we need occupancy, and as long as the chip in the PIN goes through, I know there is little chance of a chargeback. So I ask him, "I'm sorry, I meant to get the address from the ID. What's your address?" The guest replies, 11 First Street. Third red flag. "Do you mean First Street?" He says yes, then takes out his ID so I can type in his address, and then I hand it back again. I get his phone number and try to swipe it to put the card in my system before processing. The thing is, the magnetic strip will not read. I try again because sometimes it's the reader. I look at the card and there is no chip on the card either. At this point, there is no way in hell I am giving this guy a room. I turn to him and say, "Sorry, there's no way I can charge the card if it does not swipe into the system." He retorts, "Can't you just manually process like they did at the other hotel I was at?" Fourth red flag. I attempt to tell him that our system does not allow that, although it does, and he keeps insisting that I manually process it, and it was done at another hotel. I said, "I cannot do it here because we are interfaced and it does not allow me to do that. You may want to try another hotel." I hand back the card and cancel the reservation. The card was made with a cheap card making machine. I call the other hotels in the area to warn them, and they tell me that even the ID was expired, which I did not check. I know people are desperate in these times, but creating a credit card to charge somebody else is just wrong, and you should be ashamed of yourself for even trying. I will admit I gave the guest more than the benefit of the doubt, which is not necessarily what I should have done, but trying to prey on other people's compassion to cheat the system is not what you should do. Hey, what can I say? This poster said everything that I think. I hope you guys enjoyed that r/Tales from the Front Desk, read by me, Red. If you did, please make sure you give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I make videos every day, and everyone likes entertainment, right? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!